It's Michael here from Australian Defence Magazine, and we're here at Indo-Pacific for the last day, and I'm joined here with a very special guest, Darren Rolls, who's the Strategic Partnerships Manager for Ascent. Welcome to the program. Darren, are you able to give us a bit of an overview around Ascent, what type of capabilities you afford the ADF, and also a little bit around your partnership with Hui Huliau recently, if you want to give our audience a bit of an overview?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Ascent, we've been in the industry for quite a while now. We're an Australian veteran-owned company. We predominantly focus in the GUIO industry, guided weapons and explosive ordnance, and we're also branching out into a number of products of our own. But we're also pushing into the aviation regulatory compliance, aircraft structural integrity, propulsion system integrity side of things, and also regulatory compliance with the airworthiness framework within Australia. Our partnership with Hui Huliau, we established that a little earlier last year through our connections with Austrade, support from that organisation when we were over at CES Space. That was a very fortuitous meeting, and since that meeting, Austrade provided advice about how the Super 8A pathways through Hui Huliau could actually provide access for our companies into the US Department of War market.
Darren, can you give us an understanding around what are some of the advantages and capabilities that your partnership can provide the Australian defence industry and also for AUKUS?
Well, particularly for Australian SMEs, entry into the US Department of War contracts provides significant barriers due to the time, the complexity and the difficulty just through geography into entering that Department of War contracting methodologies. So with Hui Huliau providing that upper level expertise to help guide Australian SMEs into that environment, it provides a safer pathway and an easier pathway for SMEs that can just focus on delivery of their products and showing the skill sets that are available in Australia and provide those to the US Department of War and improve the collaborations under AUKUS.
So Darren, can you give us a bit of an understanding around where Ascent and Hui Huliau see the biggest opportunities but also challenges for Australian businesses to access AUKUS and the pathways that they can take with the US defence market?
Certainly. I mean, with the agreement that we have in place between Ascent and Hui Huliau, we provide that pathway to market by allowing Australian companies to focus on their particular skill sets and provide those opportunities by removing the requirement to specialise in the federal acquisition requirements, the complexities of the auditing process, and also the reporting and risk management. Hui Huliau provides that upper level cover as a prime and to the Australian SMEs, and it gives them the opportunity to reduce the complexities, the time, the effort, the cost for those companies to get into that market. And it certainly gives them a pathway to upskill themselves without having that difficulty just through pure geography to get into that market.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for your time, Darren. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
So I'm here with John Berry, the former US Ambassador to Australia, who is now the Strategic Advisor for Indo-Pacific for Hui Huliau. Welcome to the program. I usually say there's a special guest, and you are very special, and appreciate you coming on the program. Can you give us a bit of an understanding around the partnership between you with Ascent and also Hui Huliau, and how can you guys provide a safer and more open Indo-Pacific?
You know, we live in turbulent times, and when that's the case, both of our nations, which are critical to freedom around the world, and our partnership and alliance, we need to provide a sense of urgency and quicker pathways to the market. And what I'm impressed with and why I joined Hui Huliau as an advisor to them is it's a nonprofit that is called in the United States, we have a legal framework that's different than what you have in Australia. Senator Inouye created this years ago, and it's called a Super 8A. And what that means is in 2 key points for anybody who's in the defense contracting business, is up to $100 million, Hui Huliau as the prime can receive a federal contract without competition. And second, once that contract is signed, it can't be contested in court. Now, what that really means is in normal contracting competition and appeals through the court process can take anywhere from 14 months to over 2.5 years. And Hui Huliau can put a defense contract on the ground immediately within 3 to 4 weeks.
Wow.
So we're talking about going from 2 years to 4 weeks. And so it's That, I believe, is going to be a critical sort of secret weapon that we're going to be able to provide to the Australian defense community that is going to allow them to get their product into the hands of the American warfighter and deliver results on the air, sea, land, ground right away.
Yeah, wow, that's really it's a game changer, essentially, isn't it?
Absolutely.
As a former US ambassador to Australia, how has the Australian-US relationship evolved since you were ambassador, and what excites you the most around AUKUS?
You know, it goes from strength to strength, and the most consequential partnership that the United States of America has, whether you're talking land, sea, air, or space, is Australia.
Yeah, wow.
And it has been that way primarily since Hamel in World War I. But right now it's even more important than ever. Look at space. The human mission to Mars, all communications to that mission are going to be run through Australia.
Yeah, wow.
So when I was here as ambassador, we worked with the Australian Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, who created the Australian Space Agency, and we upgraded all of the satellite dishes in Tidbinbilla and Parkes in that area. So a fantastic example of sort of it's not just, going back to the movie The Dish. It's real, alive today, and it is going to be impactful in the future. And as Charlie Bolin, who's the director of NASA at that time, told me, he says, we wouldn't be able to send humans to Mars without this partnership.
Yeah, wow.
So it gives you a sense. But on the defense front, what I've seen, full credit to Arthur Sinodinos. He was the leader and the brains behind creating AUKUS in the first place.
Yeah,
wow. And it has been followed in a bipartisan fashion, both liberal, Labor, Republican, Democrat. I was followed by A.B. Culverhouse. He was as strong a proponent as AUKUS as I was, and it is going to be continued to do, as was Carolyn Kennedy. And so this partnership is profound, it is deep, it is broad, and it is consequential. And it means the difference between success or failure for freedom.
I really appreciate your time today. And look, if people want to come and connect with Ascent or Hui Huliau, how can they connect with you guys? What's the best way?
Perfect. So, look, we have 9 companies all around the United States, but the best way to connect with us is through Ascent. They are our Australian face and our Australian partner, and we are synced up shoulder, hip, and foot. So we don't go anywhere without them and with their guidance. So I think if you're an Australian company, I'd approach Ascent, and then they'll come with us, and then we can help work with them to gain that 4-week entry pathway to the U.S. defense market.
Yeah.
So I think that's our secret sauce, is the speed with which we can move. And so that's why we're proud to partner with Ascent, and I think it's going to be a phenomenal relationship that's going to bear a lot of fruit for the Australian defense industries.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge advantage, 4 weeks. Look, really appreciate your time, and enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you. That's a wrap.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike.